Cheat on me? Me and my new best buds will gaslight you into an asylum. But first, meme of the day. It all started a year ago. I was in university freshman studying psychology, and she was a girl who worked as a waitress at the cafe nearby. I used to go there a lot, still do, the lat there was divine. And we'd just chat between her serving guests. After a while, we moved together and were happy ever after. For 5 months. Part 1, Heartbreak. She barely ever stayed home, always talking about how she got extra shifts, got some family business, etc. I was a curious man, and so after some digging I found the name of one of the other men she was dating. I thought he was the only one. Spoiler, he wasn't. My heart sank at the thought of her cheating on me, but I managed to keep my calm. Being the cautious cat I am, I decided to wait for more evidence to see if my assumption is real or not. But then another strange name popped up. And another. And another. And another. At this point I was no longer upset. I was seething in rage. I decided that breaking up with this witch isn't enough. I have to break the witch herself. I began formulating my revenge plan, including making a pattern map of the witch, observing the method with which she circled between us. Being a six-timer, she doesn't have much time to split between all of us, so I have plenty of time to dig up and gather evidence, all for step 2. Part 2, Avengers Assemble. I followed her to her second lover, a guy from the same university who was studying acting. After they parted ways, I came up to him. This is what transpires between us. M equals me, a 1 equals Avenger 1. M hey, do you have a minute? A 1, clearly confused. Yeah. Why? M great. Now, this is extremely relevant to you, and it is really important, so how about we go get something to drink? We got to a bar, where I asked him to stay calm, and then showed the evidence to him. At first he refused to believe, then he cried, and then we became best buds. He agreed to help me punish the hell out of this witch. I told him to act like nothing happened, not to confront her about this, and not to act like something was wrong. We will have our revenge on this witch. I promise we will. But the time isn't right yet. We need more people in on this. A1. Can't we just dump her? We can, but it's not that much of a difference to that witch. We need to do this to stop her from doing this to anyone else. A1. Okay then. Over the next week, we recruited the other 4 into our Avengers. We all decided to devote ourselves to this. By the way, it seems that each of us were chosen for a different reason. I seem to have been chosen as potential husband. How flattering, but no, thank you. A1 was picked simply because he has a cute face and is good at jokes. A2 was rich and old and nice and lonely, go figure why. A3 was there only because she liked sex with him. A4 is a bodybuilder who liked to buy her expensive gifts and was actually planning to propose when we stopped him, and A5 is there because he has sway with the HR in a company she is planning to apply for. We all wanted revenge, and revenge is what we got. Part 3. Payback time. I have explained to all of them the concept of gaslighting, and we put it to work. We moved her stuff from one house to another. We changed the configuration of the rooms in our house. We changed the light settings, our pets, dates, etc. Slowly, she began to crack. She became irritated, snappy, beginning to question us. She yelled at us, berated us, constantly insulting us and calling us derogatory names. We kept her on edge constantly, despite being caring and sweet to her face. Even as I get called a useless son of a witch, I was happy because I knew this was the culmination of our revenge. A2 pulled out halfway through because he couldn't take all the abuse since he was old and weakened. The rest of us saw him breaking up with her and her going ballistic. We did our best to help him. One day, she attacked A1 with a knife. He escaped with several shallow wounds and hid out in the second-floor bathroom, where he called the cops. We all showed up to bail her out, and when she was released and saw us all waiting for her, she finally lost it, laughing hysterically and curling up and slamming her head on the floor. We have broken her. She was admitted to an insane asylum where she stayed to this day, and us 6 dudes became close friends due to us sharing secrets during the time we were executing our time. A1 required 14 stitches in 3 locations and got some creepy-looking scars from that incident. The rest got away scot-free though. Left a cheating ex 250 miles from home with only her mobile. Bit of backstory: in 2015 I fought in a charity boxing event for cancer research and had a really good time and got to know a few of the people from the sessions quite well. The training was split between upstairs and down as you trained with someone you'd fight on the show, so they separated us to keep it a bit more mysterious or something. As these events attracts mainly males, it was a pleasant surprise to see a few girls in with a mix, but I was there to train, so other than some friendly chat I wasn't too interested, but I had noticed a girl that was very above average from the rest of the few girls. Pre-fight and after there was a compulsory medical to check for concussion etc. Behind me in the queue was the girl I mentioned before, so I asked her how she got on in her fight, and she invited me out for a drink at an after party. I gladly accepted and was amazed to see her dressed up. Turns out we had a lot in common fitness and sexually, so we started a relationship almost straight away. Things went well for about 6 months. She met my family and my son, so all was shaping up to be something long-lasting. We got along like we had known each other years, and I suspected nothing was wrong. She had aspirations to be an Instagram model, and she got a free photo shoot down in London. Free shot, pressured into buying the photos, yada yada, but she wanted the experience and I had family on London, so we figured why not. The drive there was pretty good. Pulled over into a service station, got a bit frisky, so yeah, it was a good drive. Later in the evening she starts to play on her phone. I think nothing of it. I had no reason not to trust her. Day of the shoot, we leave the hotel. I buy train tickets to the center, and she's all excited. She leaves me in the waiting area with her phone, and I'm just sat chilling when her phone buzzes. I check to see if it was anything important, and a male's name with a love heart is on screen. Curiosity gets the better of me. I had a snoops. Turns out she's still very much in love with her ex and tells him several times in messages if he ever wants her back she will be there instantly for him. She gets a break, and I tell her I'm nipping to get some food etc. Absolutely fuming but keeping a poker face. I walk out the studio, train tickets and car keys in hand and head home. Blocked her and never spoke to her again.